can hear me. A very serious topic. I'm back. I ain't made no videos in a while. I went to a couple facilities because I fell off. And I'm back. But what I learned when I fell off is disturbing in some ways. It's been 7 years since I've been to any facility of any kind like that. Mental health and addiction go together. They're one and the same entity. There's a lot of people in our government, a lot of people out there that want to do the right thing and want to help. But there's some that just want to profit. It doesn't matter if they invade your HIPAA laws or don't respect you as an individual. Because I ran into some things that made me sick, made me angry. And there was more than just me that was sick at these places. I'm just not doing this. You got it. You spot it. There's a lot of addicts and people dealing with mental health issues. No. But this has to be said, because if it gets too late and we catch it later on the backs of mentally ill and people struggling with the disease of addiction, then it will be later on instead of now, because we need to help. And there's people that are willing to help in a loving, caring, productive way. I'm not here to discourage. I don't want to discourage anyone from getting help, seeking help. But I do advise that you take a loved one with you and do not let them push you through like a assembly line. One of the places I went was just sign, just sign. It's okay, just sign. Never in my life, out of 8 places that I was treated like that. From the moment I walked in to get help, from the moment I seek out help, it was an exit strategy plan in place, and it was gone over with you on a daily basis as you treatment, and as you improved, and as time went by, and you got better. There's different phases. You got detox, you got residential, you got now it's a PHP. I think it was called something else 7 years ago, but I don't remember anybody referring to it as PHP. It was partial hospitalization program. My experience, though, the first starting out was this place. I'm not going to mention no towns, no names, no states, or nothing like that, because it's not my place. My place I feel like, is to make you aware of things that are wrong, and until it's too late. It's just like other things throughout our history. It's way too long for it to come to surface and start doing something about it. But my experience goes like this. I went to this place. I called them up because it was old for me. End of the road was there. So I called this place up, and first they told me that they didn't accept my insurance. And then not 2 minutes later, got a phone call back saying they did. And all we would have to do is pay a deductible of $600, and pretty much that was 30 days or 28 days or something like that was what was told me. I wasn't quite ready. I didn't have my affairs in order. So I took a couple of days to get my affairs in order. I'm 50 years old. I know I need to get some stuff in order. And just frankly, I did what we do, or I did what I do. I'll just keep it on me. Hey, I won't say anybody else does this, but I think a lot can relate. I said, well, I just, I did it. So you know what I mean. But I get there and right away, they told us for a week that my wife could go with me to drop me off at the facility. So we land there, and right away they told my wife, no, she couldn't go. So that was the first lie. I'm like, what? But I was not in the state of mind to question anything, and I wasn't going to question in front of my wife at this time because I was made some promises and I was trying to follow through with them. Uh, Never mind the state of mind I was in, but I seen a look on her face, and the look on her face wasn't pleasant. She had known, she knew right then. She's like, "Well, that's a lie," but she was in a position to. So they had us over a barrel, so to speak. And I hope you can understand my speech and all that. So, sorry, interruption there. All right, I get to the place, and the lady's doing my intake. Now, it's on a Saturday, and I understand, if you understand like I understand, and you know like I know, things are a little different on the weekends than they are during the week, just like in life, But, the lady said, just sign here, just sign here, just sign here. Well, I've been through 2 different intakes in the last few months, and I'm kind of looking, I'm kind of sighing, I'm kind of catching like the sentence or two or a word or two, and just signing. Like, I was not in any kind of shape to be even signing papers. It was wrong to begin with. Now, this is not a discouraged message. This is a message of hope, strength, and power. So I say again, if you are checking yourself into a facility or even just going to the doctor to follow up on mental health or addiction or whatever the case may be, take a loved one with you. Very important. And sometimes at the end of the road, we don't have the loved ones left. So find someone if you can. If you can't, I know sometimes we're alone. A suggestion. It's just a suggestion. I don't want to sign my name until I wake up from detox or till my head's a little clear. Let's put that on law in effect. Let's don't just take advantage of people in a bad way without their medication, high, uh, whatever the case may be. Because all the cases ain't going to be the same. Then sometimes we can't think. We get put in that position and we're signing stuff that we don't understand or we're not getting the full picture of. Should be somebody to represent you. And I think the facilities should have that person to represent you. But anyways, okay, out there, and my sweatshirt, Nike sweatshirt, is a pretty expensive sweatshirt, but they don't have nothing to do with it. It was sentimental too. And this is just I wanted to seem petty, but it disappeared that quick, man. And I had it in my lap. Turn around, set it down to sign some papers and this stuff that it got gone. So I'm thinking staff, so it's putting a bad taste in my mouth. But all I want to do is lay down and give up. I was done. Time to surrender. Time to move on to the next phase of my life, or to move on. And then they started letting me have a phone call at 5 o'clock. And every day there would be so you got your counselors, you got your therapists, you got your therapists, counselors, medication team, then you got the workers. uh, Take on, just had it on my head. Staff, staff, staff people. Well, for 5 days, the staff people was going with me to make my phone call at 5 o'clock. But then they're gonna all of a sudden change it and say that I can't make a phone call without my therapist. Really? So the last 5 days, I've been making, and it was important that I got a hold of my wife, man, because I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know what I'm thinking. And to understand the disease of addiction is horrible. It's crazy. It's insidious. And if you don't understand and you're a loved one of someone, you just think they don't care about you. You think they don't care about themselves. They don't care about their kids. They don't care about life. They don't care about your relationship. And that's furthest from the truth. It just takes over. And that's for you to get educated on, not to me educate you at this time. But I will be coming with some if things work out. Um, so that was another lie. I was ready to leave, man. I was getting sick, man. I was getting sick. And because then they lied about my medications. And when you get to that state and you go into a place, man, the lies are over with. It's done stopped. You done surrender. And that's what it should be treated as. Like you wouldn't be there if the lies wasn't over with. Or if you somewhat didn't want to surrender. Now, if a judge ordered you there, or your body that still you got some kind of gumption to want to do it. So that was another lie. All right. And I know this is a long, boring story, but there is some education in it. And the education is watch out, because to me, now this is just my opinion, and maybe it'll come true. The police, the rehabs, the insurance companies are in it together now. That went the way it was 7 years ago. But it's clear to me. Now you had to form your own opinion. Just like an opinion, we got assholes, and we all got one, and I'm pretty sure they all stink. But I'm not saying that to say my opinion is not right. Perception and the way we perceive things is a hell of a thing. But I kept getting sick and sick and sick, and then I couldn't have my wife trust what I was saying, because the trust was going out the window. And that's what the case is. And they know this at facilities. And a lot of addicts work at facilities, but there seems to be a lot more that's not right now. So the respect level of addiction and alcoholism and mental healthness is not being is careful taken care of, because it's about money. It's about having that degree. It's about this. And that's fine. It does take a lot of money, but it don't take as much as they charge them. And it is crazy. And I'm going to get to that too. And I don't want to make this real long because nobody going to watch. I want y'all to watch. I want y'all to get this education. I want you to understand, because if you're not suffering, man, maybe one of your family members are, So, this education. So they promised a vitamin massages, vitamin health massage, what do you call it? Yoga, special classes, stuff like that. None of that. None of it. And they even got it on the bill they sent me in the mail, and that's another story. Well, okay, I'll just get to that, man. This is why I was getting sick. This is why I had to get out of there. My wife trusted me enough and loved me enough to get me a plane ticket to get out of there. I was almost going to have to jump the fence just to check myself out. Never in my life have I been under that, unless it was jail. I mean, never in my life I could just say, hey, I want to check out and walk out. always had that option before. Before COVID, I don't know. I don't know what has made it go to what it is, but I had an IOP, I had a residency, a detox residency, and a PHP. So I got experience in them three levels. And it was a good experience. It, it wasn't. But anyways, so she got me a plane ticket, and I was cussing, mad, angry. I had never got sick like that in a place that was trying to help me. But I knew they weren't trying to help me. They was trying to make money. Like when we'd come in, it'd be three or four of us from the same place. And then the next group of people would be three or four from the same place. And all over the United States, all over America. I'm like, that raised suspicion in me too. Like, they're running commercials or running that. And I understand we got a mental health problem and addiction problem in the United States, but there was nothing wrong with the rules and laws before. Now, what made them change, I'm not sure, but they did. So, okay, I get out of there and they send me a bill, just this place, and it's $70,000. And they told me and my wife both, because we got the same insurance, that it was $600, and that included a plane ticket. Not true. Be careful. Make sure that I talked with a lady on the phone that is a representative of my insurance company, kind of, sort of, like she's following up for my insurance company. And she said, make sure that they're in your health insurance program or in your network. Make sure of it. Don't just go on what they tell you. And that's fair enough. But at the time, people that care about addiction and the people that is stuck with addiction, the disease of addiction, alcoholism, and mental health, the people that care, help us. Help us make it mandatory that they cannot target you like that. They sent a bill for $70,000 for 19 days. 19 days. Didn't even finish the program. 19 days, $70,000. That was a big lie. That is a big, big lie. Please know where you're going. That is one. That's one of my experiences. Now, I had experience before that, and I'm guilty of some things in the IOP, but I also was trying to get help, trying to hold down my disease. He was doing jumping jacks, man. And so I went to IOP. And no matter what I went to the IOP for, back in the day, they'd help, man. They wouldn't have cared. They wouldn't have cared that if I was there for mental health, if I was there for my uh, active addiction, or even if I was lying to them or somebody was lying to them, because we know and we could tell. I was not straightforward at the time. I'm not going to mention no names, no places, no cities, no towns, because that's not right. Because we all need a chance to improve. And if the message gets out there, then we can demand improvement and help another fellow person that is suffering that we know sometimes can be a trap, a big trap. And it don't feel good to be trapped like an animal. And I'm glad I got out of that one place because that's what I felt like. I felt like they had their foot on my head and I couldn't move and the doors was locked. You're not supposed to feel like it when you volunteer. Now, all these places taking consideration that I volunteer, okay? Trying to get help, searching for help, seeking help. Uh, well, the director of that place finally, I don't know, that last day, shut the door on me and locked it. And maybe I was being obnoxious because I was sharing some good stuff though, some helpful stuff, some healthy stuff. Uh, I think at last day I was a little ego was a little inflated maybe, But I've never had no one anywhere, meetings, anywhere, push me out, lock the door. That's just, that right there was like, what? You kidding me? But it happened. It wasn't being that bad. I was just trying to be funny, man. Joking around. It was the wrong time to be funny, I guess. But nah, you don't shut the door and lock it on anybody in that situation in the facility. I'm not saying because it happened to me. I'd be sad if it happened to somebody else. And it was some stuff going on there, anyways, too. Like asking and I get a suggestion box and get suggestions from your clients, man. But do you really ask your clients how to treat mental illness when they're the ones there for or addiction? No, you don't. I don't think so. Especially all the money that it's costing, man, these insurance companies, man. The insurance company need to know too, just in case they're not aware. And if they are aware, then shame on you. Whatever, if the government, the police are aware. And the reason I think the police is involved, it's okay. Finally, the third place I went to, the last place. Diabetes was first. The other place, residential detox, was second. And now the third place I went to was called PHP, partial hospitalization project, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. PHP, partial hospitalization therapy, whatever it is. And I had a sinus infection. I went there and I went through all my stuff, and I had a clear head. I went through everything, the intake, the check, all this. Now, nobody's supposed to know about your intake. That is supposed to be confidential, period. Point blank, man. No further, man. HIPAA law is clear. Uh, so I was sick like the first week, so I couldn't start for another week. Again, voluntary. Uh, so I started the next week, and then I had this sinus infection that just lingered on and lingered on. Uh, and I looked it up. It said it can last 10 weeks to 15 weeks. I'm like, wow, with the antibiotics. But anyways, so I got sick again, and I could only hold my head up. Like I was in class and group, and I was just like fading away. It felt terrible, and I could go home. I ain't in a life facility. Well, one day in my sickness, man, I slept till like 2 o'clock or something. Like it was terrible, man. It was just all in my head. It was just terrible. And I hear someone beating on the door, the front and the back, and my dog starts barking. And I don't, I'm like, whatever, whoever it is, go away. Because I'm thinking it's the neighbor. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, well, she'll understand because she knocked on the door a few times, my neighbor, and just checking up on us or whatever. And we check up on her because she's a little older, and we just kind of kept an eye on each other. But then I got it and I looked out the window, man, there's like, I don't know how many sheriffs in my yard. 3 sheriff cars. I seen that. I'm like, what the hell? I thought, man, my wife called the sheriff on me. Like, why would she call the sheriff? And I looked at my messages and I seen where the facility had called me like 2 or 3 times. And the then another private number on there, and I know what that was from because the police ain't gonna let you know they're calling. God forbid, but you try to do that to them, and it whatever. I ain't gonna even get into that. It's about time we had a fair system. Um, what's good for you is good for me and everybody else. Uh, but my wife wasn't. She hadn't left me no message of any kind. So I'm like, okay. So I called the place. I'm like, get this. The voicemail said, leave a confidentiality voicemail, and I'll get back with you soon. I was like, really? Confidentiality? Well, can you tell me why the sheriffs are standing out in my yard? Why they're beating on my back door, my front door? It's a wellness check. It's something called a wellness check. That's fine. They knew where I was at. We talked to them. Friday, my wife talked to them. Saturday, we talked to them. They knew. Left a message Monday. That was wrong, man. My sickness started running, man. I'm like, what in the world, man? I'm 50 years old. I don't need these motherfuckers knocking on my door. The fuck, man? I mean, I'm not against them. They shouldn't be against me. But we know what they're about. They get their foot in the door, it's over with. We have no more privacy. But we know that. And that's just the wrong thing to do. So if you can help me, these things that I've said and told you are God's honest truth, in my opinion, in my experience. Please help us, man. The ones that suffer from the insidious disease of addiction, and help us to maintain our mental health. Please don't let it become a them against us thing, or money against us, or whatever. The funding that we get should be to treat people that are sick, not line the pockets of someone that got a degree. I understand you got a degree and you can get paid for it, but someone's life is more important than that degree in the long run. And what it'll do if it continues on being like this, 3 places now, 3 different programs, 3 different steps and programs. If it continues on and we don't catch it until 2008, then there's going to be a lot of people hurt. And statistically, you might not care who gets hurt if you're lying in your pockets, but that don't matter, because you're going to have to lay down with it. Sooner or later, it will catch you. Thank you. Whoever listens to this, watch it, spread it, share it. Come with me on my website. Let's talk about these things. Let's make fun out of it too. I share meetings and I share fun stuff. Like, I don't know why everybody laughs at me so much, but I guess it's because I'm crazy or funny, either one. But every time I share, when the Spirit talks to me to share, I share some experience, strength, and hope, because I've been there. I've been through it. And I know better and I know worse. We're all human. We got shit going on with us. We don't got shit going on with us. There's still shit going on with you. Even if you don't belong in the program, you probably belong in the program. And of some sorts. Because we're all human, right? We all make mistakes. We all got streaks. We got weaknesses. And don't think for a second that alcoholics and addicts don't have strengths in mental health. Suffering from depression and all that, whatever. Maybe suffer. Well, not suffering. Whatever you are dealing with on a daily basis, you still got strengths. And we can have fun and we can laugh. And I know this ain't no laughing fun video, but there will be some, because the experiences I've been through, they're quite funny. So if we get a format where we can share those and talk with each other and make it a fun thing, too. But awareness is also a key. Thanks for tuning in. If you listened all the way through this, I appreciate it. I hope you got the message. I hope you understood me. In the future, there will be something that you can understand me better. Some technology, hopefully. But to the end, man, I love you, man. It don't matter. I ain't got to see you. I ain't got to know you, or I can know you. I still love you. I don't have no hate for anybody anymore. That's just a waste of time. It's a word, not even an action. So love you, fellow man, no matter what is telling him, and help to do the right thing. Love y'all. Have a good one. Peace.